G'day everyone, I'm Ben and this is Counterfeit Christianity. I was just watching something and it brought this to mind, and I feel like I want to talk about this. A while ago, Sam and I talked about this. Before I get to that, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here, thanks for watching, and I'm glad that you're here on the journey with me. But yeah, this just popped into my head today, but I want to talk about the whole governmental lockdown stuff. Well, it's sort of like a question. I was just watching this video. Somebody was sharing their story. Their experience was that they followed the rules and the government and the science. The whole lockdown stuff, everyone wearing masks, everyone getting the jabby. They did all the things that they were told to do. And I wanted to ask the question, how did it come to you? How did you experience this? Me and Sam shared in the past a little bit of what our experience was. But I want to ask that question. How did it come to you? How did it feel to you when it first came out? All this stuff about shoving on a mask and separating yourself from people. How did it come and how did it feel to you when it first started coming out? I just want to share about my experiences a little bit and the things that God said to me while this was happening. First of all, the question is, how did you experience this? What happened to you? What did you think? What did you feel around all this? Were you connected with the hive mind? I don't want to say it's like in a negative way. I understand that some people receive things in different ways, but I think that our society, people who choose to be in the world, and there's people who choose to not be in the world. And if you're in it, if you choose to be in it and of it, you're connected to this hive mind of the shoulds and shouldn'ts of the world. But I just want to ask about that. And it's like not like I'm not talking shit. It's not negativity around this idea, but just a question to begin with. Then I'll just share my thoughts and my experiences. But yeah, I want to ask that first. It was really interesting to me. I'm a big fan of YouTube, obviously. I guess to be someone who makes things for YouTube, makes videos and posts on YouTube, you have to be a bit of a fan. And I really do enjoy YouTube, and I enjoy anything that's not of the system. And even though YouTube is becoming very systematic now, I started watching YouTube, I don't know how long ago, 20 years ago, a very long time ago when I lived in Thailand. It was funny, the first channel that I can really remember is that Ray William Johnson equals 3. And it was such an old channel. After that, I enjoyed a lot of gun channels, and that's what I really got connected to YouTube. And it took me a long time, obviously, to have the balls to do my own thing and be in the right place in my life to be able to do that. But I watched a YouTube channel. There was some guys that lived in China. It's called ADV China or something like that. Can't remember it. They're really woke and really leftist now, so I can't really watch it anymore. But back in those days, it was just about them traveling around China. But now they seem like a couple of soy boys to me now. They're really effeminate, bitchy sort of dudes, and I can't watch it anymore. But back in the day, I watched it, and they were talking about, I guess this is in 2019. It was cool because I actually went to the States in 2019, and I got to travel through the whole country in New York and then crossed all the way over to LA. And it was a great year, and it was really fun. Lots of happy and joyful people. I love the American people. Something that I noticed is Australia. A lot of people are dark and down and are sad, very sad. I guess it comes with being in a socialist, communist sort of country. People won't look you in the eyes in Australia. But in America, everyone's happy and joyful. And it's very fun to be there. You can talk to people. They're interested in you. It's quite different, a different vibe. And I really enjoyed America. And then it came in at the end of 2019 for us. I was in Thailand at the time. And it was, at first, this channel that I watched about China, they were talking about it. And I thought, oh, this is real. And it was funny because before it all hit, I went and bought all the masks. I bought all the N95 masks. And then the week after I bought them, it got really expensive. I was ahead of it all, a little bit ahead of it all. And then I don't know what happened, but eventually, over the next couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, this is a lie. This is a huge fucking lie. This is a satanic lie. This whole thing, it was so quick. God pointed it out to me very quickly that it was all bullshit. Those masks and all that shit that I bought, all the hand gel and all that sort of shit, I just chucked it away. I ended up shooting it and setting it on fire. I shot it with my 22 just for fun. But yeah, really quickly God told me, this is a lie. Don't fall for it. And I was saved, and I saved my family because of that. Yeah, we didn't get jabbed at all. We didn't fall into the lie of the world. I was so glad that I was in it, not of it, at that point. And I remember a friend that I have there. His name's Lester. He's an older guy. He's a really nice guy. And we used to hang out every weekend and, I don't know, talk about God and just have a bit of a relationship like that. And he's like, oh, do you want me to wear the mask? I'm like, no, get fucked. It's a lie. And we were like, sweet. We sort of went through it together. And so I just realized, well, God told me, I didn't realize because I listened to it at first, but God told me, It's all bullshit. And then in Thailand, everybody got sucked into it. It was kind of hectic, right? And so people would be violent against you if you didn't put your mask on. It was sort of like that when I got back to Australia too, but around town, I didn't wear it or anything like that. It's hard for my wife because she doesn't like causing trouble, and I like fighting, and it's part of who I am. I enjoy a fight. So if anyone come up to me on the street and fight me, I'd fight back. I would do whatever it takes to destroy you. That's sort of the personality that I have, but I'm happy-go-lucky, and I'm glad to be with people if you were just wanting to be that with me as well. But that used to sort of get me in trouble in my past, and at that time I was really looking for a fight, and I still enjoy the idea of a fight. That's why I will never put up with the government or anybody telling me what to do, how to live my life. That's sort of like why I don't accept systems. I hate systems. They just kill you and destroy you. But yeah, that was sort of that journey around that. So in Thailand, if you want to go places, they wouldn't let you into buildings if you didn't have a mask on. So I put it on when you go in and pull it down when you get through the door, that sort of stuff. A lot of people in my wife's family, like 4 or 5 people actually died from the jibby jab. Some people in my family got injured by it. From myocarditis and stuff like that. I tried to tell people, but nobody listened to me. Everyone thought I was really bad, and I had some fights with some people on Facebook. I used to be quite argumentative. Now I just sort of let it go. One of my old pastors, he got really angry at me when it all started about the whole lockdown stuff and me wanting to fight against it, and he's like, oh, that's ungodly. So this has all been a part of my journey, separating myself from the system, because systems are so evil, everyone has to be the same inside of them. And now he's dead. That pastor who said that, he died. And so he's a young guy, really fit, really healthy, dead. Instant cancer, dropped off. It's kind of crazy. I know a bunch of people who have died from this thing. My wife and my kids are safe, and we just said no. The whole time trying to get back to Australia, because Thailand was going crazy, Australia was going crazy. I got my wife's visa finished right in the middle. It was kind of a blessing in that way, because my wife got her visa to Australia really easy, and now she's a permanent resident because it was happening in the middle of this. Her permanent residency instantly happened, and normally it takes many years, but she got it so quickly. As soon as we got to Australia, they shut the borders between the states, and they were really militant here. If you're in America, you may have seen some stuff, but they were extremely militant around that. And a funny thing that happened when I came to Australia, we got put into the hotels because the borders were closed. We got chucked straight into a hotel, and when I was in there, I'd actually learned about the idea of declining these offers that people tell you. Like, every time somebody gives you a mandate, it's just an offer for service, and you can decline that. And I learned about the idea of understanding, that to understand somebody means to come under them, under their authority. And I realized that if they said, do you understand? I would just say, no, I decline your offer. No, I do not understand what you are saying. I learned that, and I used it quite often when I was in there. And there was a thing that happened. They had a mandate inside of those hotels. They said, you must be tested every few days. And I just said, oh, thank you. I thank you for your offer. I decline the offer. And they didn't, and they said, oh, you have to. It's mandated. I said, I decline. Thank you very much. And I just didn't do it. It was so great. I realized this stuff. And it actually is powerful against systems. When you understand their system just a little bit, you can decline the offer. And I did that a lot. And I actually got called by police when I was in there, and they tried to threaten me and all that sort of stuff. And I just said, thanks very much. Thanks for the offer. I decline. And I got through it all, and we just left, and it was great. We were just in there for 2 weeks, and I could have declined the offer of the hotel as well, but I decided not to do that because I had a family. I didn't want to get in a fight. So my wife and kids were with me. My grandchildren at that stage were quite young. My daughter was quite young. And I just like, no, I'm going to go in here, and just because I don't want to fight. If I was on my own, I'll be like, yeah, I'm good, thanks, see ya, and just walk through. I just decline their offer continuously. And at that stage, I didn't know that I could decline offers. It was a journey for me. I'd never done it before. I'd never been a part of legal systems inside of Australia. And you can just say, thanks very much for the offer, I decline. And that was a good lesson for me. And I said no very, very often. I did a video about saying no. No is a very powerful word. Just say no, and then you get through it. So that was my journey in the hotels. We got through unscathed. I had a lot of fun during this time. I never ever put a mask on, and people would get really angry and trying to start fights with me. Luckily, I was a little bit more passive in those days because, but if it was 5-10 years before that, I would have thrown. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. I loved going into these shops and people getting angry, and I don't know, something about me makes it so fun for me when people get cut about this sort of thing. It's so funny because I know it's so ridiculous, because my daddy told me that it was all bullshit, and I already knew. So I was in the world and not of it. It was so much fun. At that time, I was homeschooling my kids. We were connected to a group of people who just didn't give a shit, and we're just like hanging out and doing life as usual, going to parks, having fun, going swimming, all this sort of stuff, while everyone else was scared and locking themselves down because their government told them to. Come on, give me a break. It's just so funny. You'd have to be a religious zealot in some way to still believe that this is the thing that's happening. It's sort of like global warming and stuff like that, and climate change. You'd have to be a religious zealot to believe that sort of thing. The journey that I've been on is that God made this world for us. It's not a fucking mistake. He put us here intentionally to live in this world. If we're in this world and not of it, this world is built for us. God designed me to be in this world. So I'm not afraid of some thing that some man says, that some system puts out there that it's going to kill me. Whatever, man. I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm free. And so that's the stance that I took, and it really was really fun. And I just knew that I'm good to go, and I knew that I can lead my family through this and come out on the other side more joyful, more fun, more excited. But I am interested in other people's perspectives on this and other people's thoughts. Listening to this video that I just watched about this woman talking about it, I'm like, that's really interesting that you can go all into the world, but then at the end realize, like, there's a point that all of us get to in our lives where we're like, wow, I actually have no idea what's happening. And this idea that I know something and therefore I can act on that, or somebody tells me something and therefore I can go from that, then that is actually a huge lie. And all of us will get to that sometime in our life, maybe. Well, hopefully. I'm trying to encourage you guys to get to that point, at least. This is my understanding. I don't know shit. I'm really glad that you guys are here. I'm really glad that you're watching, and I'm really appreciative of this. And like always, leave your likes, leave your comments, subscribe, all that great stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye.